See, record it to computer, don't record it to cloud. Cloud na enakitta vandrum, enakitta cloud level space kediyadu. Please record it to computer, okay? Chalo.
Shaji, Saira. Shuklam Vradaram Vishtum Jashivatnam Chaturabhujam Prasannavadaram Jaye Sarunopashante Vakundam Nallamanamundam Amalara Nokundam Enimundade Pukundutupa Tripedi Bikke Yampadam Tapamal Charvadamakhe Vagishatya Sumanasa Sarvartana Bhavakrame Ennatvagadagatya Shivhutam Namagajanam Yor Vihyukta Charutbihi Spatikamadihi Makshamalandatana Aste Nekin Vatpam Chitamasashakam Pustakam Chavarena Bhasam Kundendu Shankas Padikamadeva Bhasamana Samana Same Vagdevadeyam Nivsatavadane Sarvata Suprasanna Ujantam Rama Rame Dimadram Mudaraksham Aruksha Kapita Shaka Vande Valmiki Kokilam Anjaneya Mativadaranam Kanchanatri Kamaniya Vigraham Parijata Tarumulavasim Bhavayam Yogamanandan Yatra Tragunadakirtanam Tattva Sapstakandalim Bashvavari Paripururochanam Bharatinavaraj Shantakam Manojamam Mariotulivekam Jitendriyam Buddhivatam Varishtam Vatatpajam Madharyutamukyam Shri Ramadutam Chirasanamami Namostu Ramaya Salakshmanaya Devi Chatasya Janakatmajaye Namostu Rutrendra Yamanilebhyo Namostu Sundararkamadukkanebhyaha Yeyam Sada Paripavottam Abhishtatoham Tirthaspadam Shivaviranjalitam Sharanyam Pratyarthiham Vratabara Bhavapti Bodham Vande Mahavurushate Charanaravindam Tektva Sudechita Rajalakshmi Dharmishta Aryavajara Jagadaranyam Mayabhrutam Daita Vechara Manvadavate Vande Mahavurushate Charanaravindam Moonday Surveti and Gurunadi Om Indu Umbadavasal Tanudai Piriumbod Undan Charaname Charanam Minurunde Venuday Kamala Tiruvikarase Tire Gulba Natal Kadankalandai Nanudai Tavatal Tirubadi Adende Nevisharan Pitulanda Shiraya Namaha Shiraya Namaha Gopika Jivanasparanam Govinda Govinda Sadguru Swabinaha Jai Janaki Kantasparanam Jai Jai Rama Rama Anjane Swabinaha Jai Tapaswadhyagniradam Tapaswadhyagniradam Tapasvi Vakvidambaram Naradam Paripapracha Valmiki Munipungavam. By the grace of Sriman Narayana, I am fortunate to deliver a series of discourse on Ramayana. As the Shastra Ramayana means that Ramasya Ayanam, it talks about the journey of Rama. As in Bhagavatham, it states that Matyavatar Sthira Matya Shikshanam. He has descended in this world to show how a person has to be by adhering the principles of Dharma. And in this Ramayana, it starts with the beautiful conversation between the two doyens. One is Narada Maharshi, and another is Valmiki Maharshi. And one side, Narada Maharshi, he is highly authoritative in explaining giving the Bhakti Shastra to the people in this world. And he has authorized the Narada Bhakti Sutra that talks about how to do bhakti on Sriman Narayana, and how to pray, and how to spend your own life in praying to God. In this Bhakti Sutra, it contains small capsules that gives us the message of how to connect yourself with God. And he is highly authoritative in making and bringing development in one's own bringing development in spiritual progress, especially in Valmiki Maharshi's life. If you see, he was previously a hunter with a cutthroat heart, with an iron-hearted personality he had. But his problem was he was reckless in dealing others' matters, and he killed hundreds and thousands of people under the pretext of, say, taking care of his own family. And Narada was the first person to counterattack Valmiki Maharshi based on his approach of dealing his life. And he thought that whatever the things I did, it was all were punya, because my duty is to kill people My duty is to steal others' jewelry such that I can satisfy my wife's pride as well as my family's status. For that, he has engaged in this kind of activities, which he explained to Valmiki Maharshi. And he told that whatever you did was 100% papa. So you need to get rid of this because God has given you this precious life. That's what Prahlada Maharaj said in his Bhagavata. Said in Bhagavata. Kaumara acharet prakyaham dharman bhagavadaniha turlabam manusam janma tadapi adruvam artadam. Here he said in the second line that durlabam manusam janma. There he highlights, he stresses the greatness of human birth. Greatness of human birth such that how a person who is born as a human plays a major role in this world. Then he has the right to attain godhood. That's why in many songs you hear that Manidan Enbavan Deivam Agalam. Then the human has the courage and even he has the will to attain godhood. That's what Prahlad Maharaj stressed in Bhagavatam. The same thing Narada Maharshi stressed Valmiki Maharshi by explaining the difference between a sin as well as accumulation of credits. That is Punya Karma. And he told that whatever I did, it will be 100% transferred to my kin as well as all the relatives. And Narada Maharshi told that it is impossible. And Valmiki previously was Ratnakara challenged him that I would ask them and come to your situation. I'll ask them and come to with an agreement that whatever you said, if you said whatever you said was 100% correct, then I'll be your slave, or else I will kill you at that moment. Which he threatened him, and Valmiki Ratnakara fled to his family, and he reported what the things to his wife as well as to his father, and they all said that because of you only. And his father first said that when I begot you, whatever karmic account which I had, that might even though if you did some wrong, that might affect me. But right now you are a free will man. Right now you are at free will. Then whatever punya karma, whatever papa karma you have accumulated, it will affect only you. And the same question he asked to his wife as well as to children. And they said that I am least bothered about whatever the punya karma and papa karma you have accumulated. And all the things are your dealings. Better you take care of it. Which they all said in negation. And that has hurted him. That has created a more impact in his mindset. And slowly he ran and fell on Narada's feet and begged him that what is the solution and what is the solution I am supposed to search, because I have done lot of sins in my previous janma as well as my current janma, and how to get rid of it. Which Narada Maharshi told him to chant the Taraka mantra Ramanama. That's what the famous Kirtanat said. Ramanamamu Janma Rakshaka mantra. That saves you from the Janma. Whatever the Punya karma and Papa karma you have accumulated, both will both will bind you in the samsara. If you do a lot of Punya karma, accumulation of lot of merits and credits, you will get transferred to Devaloka. If you do a lot of Papa karma, lot of sins if you have accumulated, you will be transferred to Narakaloka and face the trials and tribulations ordered by Yama and his troop Chitragupta. So this is the rule which God has set in the Vedas. And Narada and Ratnakara was grieving. He was guilt-ridden. Then he wants an immediate solution to get rid of this. So Narada Maharshi told him to chant the Taraka mantra Ramanama, which Ratnakara tried. Once, twice he tried to chant the Ramanama continuously, but it couldn't come from his mouth, because lot of sins he has accumulated will prevent a person to chant the Nama. For a person to chant Rama flawlessly, he have to do lot of punya karma. By God's grace, if a person does a lot of punya karma, then he will be elevated to chant Bhagavan's divine Nama. So Valmiki Maharshi, previously Ratnakara, couldn't chant Ramanama. So Narada Maharshi has told him an alternate option, that you please chant the Ramanama inversely by pointing the tree, which in Tamil we call it as Maram. By chanting the Mara, that Mara, then it will give you the immediate effect what the Taraka mantra gives, the same effect it gives. So he continuously chanted the Mara, 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 Mara infinite times. And slowly he began contemplating on that mantra. And as I spoke about Ramanama mantra, I would like to add on Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's Upadesha on Ramanama. As one visitor said that I daily chant Ramanama. Can you please explain the significance behind this mantra, which Ramana Maharshi told gleefully that the significance of the mantra Ramanama, where it has two aksharas. One is Ra and another is Ma. Where Ra means it is the Parabrahman. He is the supreme personality of the Godhead. And Ma means the ignorance. If you continuously chant Rama, 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 Rama infinite times, that Ma Akshara is there, no? That Ma Akshara will get disappeared and only Ra remains. In that way, you have to chant that Ramanama mantra. Like that, Mara, 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 he inversely chanted. And he got resolved, completely resolved in that self, and slowly Brahma came and blessed him. And because of Brahma's blessings, he was renamed as Valmiki Maharshi. And Valmiki Maharshi, uh, after being a sage, he had a conversation with Narada Maharshi because Narada wanted him to wanted to give him an upadesha such that he would he would give it to the entire universe. That his main objective is to make Valmiki Maharshi to tell Rama's story. From his mouth, we have to listen Ramayana. So there was a conversation between the two Dayans, as I said, Narada Maharshi and Valmiki Maharshi. And here it starts with the word tapaha. And generally the word tapaha means penance. Because for a person who wants to meditate, when some other work we want to extract from him, if we meet him, he would be resolved in the meditation. To that person, what you will say, he is completely doing tapas. Better don't disturb him. If you disturb him, we will accumulate a lot of sins. Like that, for a simple meditation, you just say it's tapas. And that is meaning for all languages. In Hindi, in English, in Telugu, in Tamil, we say the word for meditation, for penance is tapas. And generally, the word tapas derives from the Sanskrit root word is called tap. Tap means heat. And here it signifies that tapaha means one who is engaged and engrossed in learning Rama's gunas, Rama's attributes, and one who is engrossed in delivering Rama's attributes. That is called tapas. And one who always has a thirst to contemplate on Rama. That is tapas, tapaha. And then swadhyaya niratam. The next word, swadhyaya niratam, here it means even though he contemplates on Rama, even though he has a curiosity to speak about Rama's attributes, but he needs to recollect whatever things he has learned previously by simple reading, and by at the same time by simple remembering his attributes. That's Swadhyaya Niratam. That is by simple reading. Like if a person learns the Veda, what is his prime duty? He has to daily practice. If he practices Veda, if he practices 4000 Divya Prabandhams, that is the Tamil Veda, if he practices it daily, regularly, then the things which is in the book will be registered in his mind. That is Swadhyaya Niratam. Then Tapasvi. Just by mechanical reading, you won't get the essence of what is said in the Ramayana and what is said in the Vedas and what is said in the Nalayana Divya Prabandham, 4000 Divya Prabandhams. In that, to get the essence, one has to be tapasvi. He has to be experienced person. He must have read 100 and thousands of times such that whatever the experience he gets by reading the Ramayana, by reading the Vedas, he must keep it in the heart. He must not be the bulb which fuses immediately. He must be like a tube light, like tapasvi. Then vakvidam baram. And whatever the experience he has, he must be in a position to orate, to tell the people, hundreds and thousands of people, in whatever languages which he needs. If a person who doesn't know Vedas and Shastras, if he sits in front of you, to him you must know to explain what the complex meanings are said in the Shastras. It has to be elucidate. It has to be in a very simple manner, such that it will be quintessential for him to digest. If you tell very big words to him, it will be difficult for him to take and store it in his mind. So to each and every people, a person has to bend his ways to explain the what is said in the Shastras. That is Vakvidambaram. Very good oratory skill. And that was possessed by Naradam, by Narada. Naradam Paripapracha Valmiki Munipunkamam. To, to whatever the qualities which I mentioned, the four gunas, the four attributes that was possessed by Narada, to, to that Narada Maharshi, or the one who is more revered among all those sages, Valmiki Maharshi, has asked him a question. With that, I concluded with a single sloka. And from that, Valmiki Maharshi has started questioning Narada. He started his conversation. As he wanted a person, he must be Nyatumevam Vidam Naram. He wanted only a human being. He didn't want a celestial being who lives in Vaikunta, who lives in Shivaloka, who lives in Devaloka, who lives in Brahmaloka. He doesn't want that person who is well versed in such attributes with what Valmiki has expected in his question while he was about to question Narada. And he kept in mind that he want a human being such that he want a human like him, such that at the present day I must be in a position to meet him, to contact him, to develop a relationship with him. So I want that kind of a person who has many attributes, which he started with the question: Kon vaspin sambradam loke gunavan kascha viryavan darbhatnyascha kritanyascha satyavakyo dadavrataha charitrena sakka yuktaha sarvabhuteshu kohitaha vidwan kaha kassabattascha kaschaika priyadashanaha atmavan kaha jitakrodaha judivan kaha abhyasuyarakaha Kasya Vipyati Devasha Jatarosasya Sayuge, which he questioned Narada. That he wanted a person, as I said before, that I'll be explaining the attributes one by one in a concise way, because we need to come to Rama Avatara. That's why I will be telling in a concise way. Dharmajnasya. He starts with the word Dharmajnaha, one who knows Dharma. Apart from knowing Dharma, he must be in a position to follow it at the same time. Advocate to those who are doing adharma. Those who are doing wrongdoings, he must be in a position to punish them, to conjure them, and to bring them in the right position. Dharmakyaha. Then kritakyaha. Then kritakyaha means one who knows gratitude to whatever services if a person has done. Even though he may possess some bad habits, he or she may possess some bad habits, he must be in a position to forego the whatever bad habits he might have. But he must remember that because of that person, I am in that very good position. By remembering the noble deed which he had done previously, the kritakyaha, then satyavakyaha, the person would never sway away from the truth. Dridam whatever the project and whatever the thing which a person has taken it previously on the basis of others' responsibility, he must not sway away from that. And whatever the circumstances, whatever the evidence which the people scold, which the people frame, which people throw allegation, I must not bother, I must not take things very seriously. And whatever the task is given, I will complete it immediately. Somehow I will complete it immediately. And that kind of the perseverance and steadfastness is Dridhavrataha. And Charitrena Chakoyuktaha. And next he speaks about chastity, Charitra. And Charitrena Chakoyuktaha means amongst all the noble people, who is the noblest person? And Sarva Bhuteshu Kohita. And whatever the chastity the person might have, but his heart must always do good to the people surrounding him. Sarva Bhuteshu means not one, apart from the people, it must also benefit the plants, flora and fauna, which we say generally on environment protection, which we say the same thing. The person must be environmentally conscious. Sarva Bhuteshu Kohitaha Vidwan. He must be a scholar. He must have the ability to digest. He must have ability to restore what are the data which he have collected previously, and what are the things and what are the information he has collected previously. Vidwan. And Kaha Samatascha. And whatever the knowledge which he has possessed previously, he must be in a position to execute which and wherever it is possible. He must be utmost intelligent, rather than being a bookish knowledge person. Samarthaha kasyaika priyadarshanaha. Rather than being a expert in executing the knowledge, he must be polite in expressing his views. There are many people, there are hundreds and thousands of people who will be in a position to advise if something bad has happened. They would be in that position and say, whatever bad has happened, God is there, Bhagavan is there, he will take care of you. Which hundreds and thousands of people will be saying. In very soothingly they will be saying. And at the same time, and whatever practices a person does, they would speak contrary whatever they spoke previously. Like, because of these practices, because of these spiritual practices, because of your steadfast practices, you are facing these problems. And that has brought you in this circumstance, which hundreds of thousands of people will speak in multiple ways. And here, here what Valmiki decides that he wants a person amidst of whatever circumstances he or she might be, he must be pleasing. And if I speak to that person, I will forever speak to that person. I will forever live with that person. I will forever die with that person. Like Kaschaika Priyadarshana. Then Atmavan. Apart from the exterior attributes which I've told as of now, Atmavan. Here I'm telling about the interior attribute. That Atmavan means one meaning is that he knows himself. One who knows himself. That is Atmavan, I can say. And another meaning is that one who knows his own true self. In terms of Vedanta, I'll say that Atmavan means one who knows his own self. Atmavan. Kaha jitakrodaha, one who has conquered anger. Jutiman, kaha anasuya baka. Here Jutiman means he is very courageous. Kaha anasuya kaha. He wasn't jealous of any other person. And at last Valmiki concludes with the command that Kasya Vibhyati Devascha Jata Rosascha Sayuge. Here it says the command that whatever his command has to be in such a way that whatever the decisions he may take, it will tremble the Devas. And it will make the Devas to execute orders as per his will. Kasya Vibhyati Devascha Jata Rosascha Sayuge. That in a pleasing manner. Not like Hitler and Mussolini. Not like Hitler Mussolini who has executed thousands of Nazis under his own will. By sheer pleasingness and by kindness, how he trembles the Devas to execute his own will as per his instruction. That's a Vipati Devas Jata Rosa Sayuge. And he wanted, as I listed around 20 gunas of that person, and he wanted to know that who is that person. And slowly Narada Maharshi told Ishwak Vamsa Prabhavaha Ramo Rama Jayeshwataha. And he explained positively that there is one person. He is from a clan of Ishwaku Vamsa. He is a descendant from Ishwaku Vamsa. Ramo Rama Janeshwataha. There is one person named Rama. Niyatatma Mahaviryaha Dutiman Dritiman Vasi. And later he also further enlists the gunas and attributes of Rama. And slowly, after enlisting the gunas of Rama, he starts with the story, such that it will be easy for Valmiki Maharshi to give us the content. So he starts with the story of the beautiful he starts with the story of Ayodhya, previously named Kosala, where there were lot of abundant of grains and lot of people who were equally rich, who were equally knowledgeable, and there were no malice in that state, in that kingdom. And it was established by Ishwaku, who was the son of Surya Bhagavan. From him, Manu Vamsa, the Surya Vamsa has started. And as of now, as of that period, the king was Dasaratha Maharaja. His reign was similar to how Manu has ruled the king of Kosala. And it had a name called Ayodhya because no people, there were no fight, and all were equal, and all were equal, which we pledged in during our Republic Day. Similarly, it was the same status in Ayodhya. All Indians are my brother and sister, which we used to say. It was the same situation in Ayodhya. And there Dasaratha was righteous, and he treated his own subjects as his own children, and he had 350 wives, and amidst the 350 wives, three were primary: Kausalya, Subitra, and Kaikeyi, and three were the queen of this Ayodhya kingdom, and he was engaged in the dharmic ways, and he had one problem, that he need to begot a son, and at the same time Devas couldn't torture Ravana's atrocities, Ravana's tyrannical rule, and they all went to Brahma to ask, what boons did Ravana get from you? And Brahma enlisted the list of boons that Ravana asked while he was doing penance, and and he and he missed two of the boons, and one is from from the man I must not be killed, and from the monkey I must not be killed, and rest he asked that whatever the boons I ask I must not be slayed by them, which Ravana told to Brahma. And suddenly Bhagavan came with his two consorts, Sri Devi, Bhudevi, seated on Garuda, and he blessed them with his grim smile. By his pleasant smile, he blessed them, and he told that Vayam Tachata Patram Te Hitatam Yudhi Ravana. He told them that don't fret, I will be in a position to slay Ravana as well as his sons, as well as his grandsons, who has tortured the entire universe with his penance. That I will be in a position to counterattack Ravana's adharmic ways. And and all the devatas decided that I will be born in this world, in this Bhuloka, as monkeys, as vanaras. And Rama and Bhagavan decided I will be born as Pitaram Rochayamasa Tata Dasaratham Ripam. I'll be born as Dasaratha. And Dasaratha, as per Vasishta's instructions, Ayodhya has laid a Yajna Bhumi across the northern banks of Sarayu river. Then, with the help of Vasishta, he called Rishyasingha to conduct the Yajna. After conducting the Yajna, Divya Purusha came and he gave the Payasa. He gave the Payasa. From that Payasa Prasad, Kausalya begot a child, and by Vasishta's name, he named it Rama. And from Sumitra, two children were born. They were Bharata and Lakshmana and Shatrughna. And from Kaikeyi, she begot a child named Bharata. And all these children were named by Vasishta. From their early age, they learnt all the Vedas and Shastras from Vasishta. And Dasaratha had one problem, that I couldn't, at the right time, I couldn't give them for marriage. And suddenly Vishwamitra came. By Vishwamitra's order, Rama killed Tataka and Subahu, and he sent Maricha ashore, and he got all the mantras from Vishwamitra. And after getting the mantras from Vishwamitra, he also relieved Ahalya from the curse she received from Gautama. And he broke the Shiva's bow and married Sita. Then he served his father 14 years in Ayodhya. And all the people were overjoyed that they wanted Rama to be the king after Dasaratha, which they all expressed their wish. And Dasaratha was also overjoyed that he wanted to coronate Rama as the heir apparent to ascend the throne. And that time, one wicked lady had came. Her name was Mantra. And she didn't like this celebration which the people kept in on the streets of Ayodhya. And she suddenly approached Kaikeyi to stop this celebration. Instead, whatever the arrangements which Dasaratha made, it has to be applied to Bharata. And Rama has to be banished for 14 years of forest, 14 years of exile, which she ordered Kaikeyi. And Kaikeyi was not in a mood to say that, mood to neglect what Mantra has said. But she was forced because of the conspiracy. As right now Kausalya is the head queen, she might lose that position if Rama was coronated as the king of Ayodhya. So by showing Kausalya, Kaikeyi was also bewitched by Mantra's plan. And she overnight she has planned whatever Mantra has told. She had followed 100% exactly, and at the same time lured Dasaratha's mind. And due to the power of truth, Dasaratha was also entangled. After getting entangled, he also ordered Rama to go for 14 years of exile, and along with the matted locks, as well as with the by wearing the tree bark. and he only went accompanied Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita for 14 years of exile. And all the people cried, and they all cried to Rama not to leave us because they wanted to see Rama as king. And Rama in positively returned that whatever the affection you showed to me, you please show it to Bharata. He is equal to me, which Rama addressed the civilians. And slowly he went to Shringiberapura and he acquainted with Guha, and he received the whatever the royal treatment he received everything from Guha, and he then from that he went to Bharatwaj Ashrama, and there he received the foods as well as the where he received the meals from Bharatwaj Ashrama, and then he went to Chitrakuta. And after hearing the news of Rama's disappearance to Chitrakuta, Dasharatha left his body. He was no more, and that has shocked Bharata, and he has he scolded Kaikai for her actions, and along with and he himself did the whatever the deeds which Dasharatha has to be done, the funeral rites he himself did it on his own, and Bharata and Shatrughna and all the people they went to see Rama and to convince Rama to take the kingship duties, which they all went, and people suspected him, as Guha suspected him, Bharatwaja Maharishi suspected him, and he one by one he clarified their doubts, and slowly he went to Rama to order to request for kingship, and many rishis also told, and many Maharishis told him to accept the kingship, and Rama replied in such a way that I will never sway away from Satyam and Dharma. So I would be whatever my father has prescribed, I would complete the 14 years of exile, and later I would attend the duties. He told in a cajoling way, and Bharata both saved the Paduka and he kept it in Ayodhya, and he also pledged that I will never leave, I will never, whatever the dharma which my brother Rama follows, I will follow the same. If Rama didn't return after 14 years of Ayodhya, I will sacrifice my life. And he's saying that he stayed in Nandigram. Then Rama went to Dandakaranya and he solved all the rishis' problems, Maharishi's problems in Dandakaranya. And then he met, and suddenly in the Dandakaranya, there was Surpanaka came, and he and they have hurted her, and she has sent all the Karadushanas and all the Rakshasas to go kill Rama, and Rama single-handedly combated them and finished their chapter. And then it has hurted Ravana's mind, and Ravana along with Maricha devised a plan to abduct Sita such that he found another way to kill Rama, as he couldn't have the courage to combat face to face with Rama. He has devised another plan such that Maricha was disguised as a deer, and Sita got lured by that deer, and slowly Rama followed that, pretexting Sita's advice, and he killed Maricha. And slowly Ravana came as a hermit and kidnapped Sita, and Jadayu sacrificed his body in a pretext of saving Sita. And Rama, hearing Sita's abduction, he cried by looking at the trees, by looking at the flowers, by looking at the mountains, and he decided to destroy the entire universe. And under Lakshmana's request, he stopped that. He has calmed down, and later he met Jatayu to get the information of how Sita got abducted by Ravana, and he did the funeral rites of Jatayu, and slowly he killed Kabanda. From Kabanda's message, he had been a spectator of Sabari's liberation to her loka, to her Punya loka, and he had forged the friendship with Sugriva by Anjaneya Swami's grace. And by Sugriva's association, he has conveyed his problems of his enmity with Vali. By Sugriva's association, he killed Vali and established and he crowned Sugriva as a king of Kishkinda. Sugriva sent his troops to search for Sita where she was, and along with all the troops, they have went to southern part by Swarnaprabha's penance. When they reached Swayamprabha's presence, there, by hearing Sampati's request, Anjaneya Swami traveled from southern tip of India to Sri Lanka by Brahma's grace, and when he reached Lanka, he has observed Sita meditating on Rama, and Ravana proposing Sita to marry him. And Sita spoke left and right to Ravana, and she also established, she also displayed how Rama, she displayed the power of Rama, and she also requested, advised Ravana to surrender to Rama and to have a association with Rama such that he will forgive you whatever the papa karma you have done as of now, which Sita advised. And everything went in vain. And everything went in vain. And Anjaneya Swami see Sita's depressed mind and she was about to commit suicide. At that time, Anjaneya Swami spoke about Rama. He sang Ramayana. By singing that Ramayana, Sita rejoiced and he slowly came down and gave the gave the ring which Rama had given him previously during his visit to southern tip. Slowly he gave it to Sita, and then under Sita's request, Anjaneya had burnt the entire Lanka, and he also advised Ravana not to have enmity with Rama, and such all those things has happened. And he also told Rama in a positive way that contain Sita, I saw Sita. And Rama had given himself to Anjaneya Swami by embracing him. And they have started their preparation to meet the to that and they started their trip to Lanka. And they have built a very big bridge such that they would be in a position to go to Lanka. And when they built a very big bridge, they went to Lanka and they also sent Angada for final call of surrender, which Ravana replied in negation. And suddenly, very big yuddha, very big war has happened. Hundreds and thousands of Rakshasas were being killed, including Indrajit, Kumbhakarna, and Ravana. Everyone were killed. And suddenly, Vibhishana, who already surrendered to Rama, he was made as the king of Lanka. And under his order, he released Sita, and after releasing Sita to show that to show her chastity, she did Agni Pariksha. After doing the Agni Pariksha, Rama accepted her, and they all boarded to Pushpaka Vimana, and along with the Vanara monkey clan's wife, they all boarded to Pushpaka Vimana and suddenly landed at Bharatwaj Ashrama to save Bharata. And Anjaneya Swami himself went and saved Bharata and told about his relationship and association with Rama. And Bharata was overjoyed and he took his two padukas, his two slippers, and went to Ayodhya. Then after he went to Ayodhya, first Bharata dressed in royal attire, and all the four brothers they dressed in all royal attire, and with the help under the prescription of Vasishta, Rama was coronated as king of Ayodhya. With that, I complete the Samkshepa Ramayana. What I've told for 15 to 20 minutes of the Samkshepa Ramayana, Narada have told the entire story to Valmiki Maharshi. And if a person reads that Patandijo Vat Rishabhattvamiyat, Shat Kshatriyo Bhumi Patitvamiyat, Vanijjanaha Punya Palattvamiyat, Janasya Sudropi Mahattvamiyat. For those who read that, if a person of Brahmana clan reads that Patandvijaha Vak Rishabhattvamiyat, he would develop oratory skills and he would be well versed in Shastras. Shat Kshatriyaha Bhumi Patitvamiyat. If a person who is from a Kshatriya clan who reads this Samkshepa Ramayana, the concise version of Ramayana, he would be in a position to rule the kingdom. Vanikjanaha Punya Palattvamiyat. If a person who is if a businessman reads this Ramayana, his business would flourish. Janascha Sudropi Mahattvamiyat. And other clan, if he reads the Samkshepa Ramayana, he would be happy. With that, I conclude the Samkshepa Ramayana. And Valmiki Maharshi has got the idea and the content of the story. And he was continuously contemplating on the series of events from the starting of the origin of Ayodhya till Rama's coronation. He was continuously contemplating on that. And his mind was engrossed on that. Even though he had the hermitage, he had hundreds and thousands of disciples, including the lead disciple Bharatwaja. He was taking bath in Tamasa river. At that time, Bharatwaja took a kamandalu and he gave it to Valmiki Maharshi. And Valmiki Maharshi, after having a holy bath, holy dip in Tamasa river, he replied to him, Yasatam kalasam prapya, tiyatam alkalam mama. Oh Bharatwaja, I don't want this kamandalu. Give me the tree bark. And And in this verse, Sri Priyavachan Pillai gave a commentary that from his mouth, anonymously, he has started Ayodhya Kandam. Nasyatam kalasam prapya dhiyatam valakalam mama. Where Vasishta would coronate with the Kamandalu. From his Kamandalu, the water holding in the Kamandalu, he would do Punya Abhishekam to Rama. Uh, he would do Abhishekam to Rama, and instead of being coronated, he was sent to 14 years of exile. Eksadam kalasam prapya dhiyatam valakalam mama. When anonymously the Ramayana instances came from his mouth, and suddenly he saw two crowncha birds. Both were red hue in color, and they both were romantically involved. He saw both of them expressing their love and expressing their heartliness. Both of them were traveling in the sky. By looking at them, he was enjoying them, and suddenly one hunter he had marked an aim on that male bird and he killed it. And the male bird was really suffering. By looking at its suffering, the female bird began to suffer more and more intense. By looking at the both of them intensely suffering, he had cursed the hunter. Rishi Darbhatpanapatti Karunya Sampati. By looking at them, he has developed a mercy, sympathy, that both of them were exchanging their pleasantries. At that time, how can a cruel hunter with an iron rod in his mind, how could he kill that male bird and disturbing their pleasantry? And suddenly he thought, and he cursed him, Manishada Pratishtatam, Agamaha Shashwati Samaha, it Krauncha Mitunadevam, Avadihi Kamamohitam. And he said, Manishadaha, O hunter, Pratishtatam Agamaha Shashwati Sama, you won't lead a fruitful life, you won't lead a complete life. Yet Krauncha Mitunadevam, for your action, for your heinous crime you have committed, as you have killed that Krauncha bird, as Krauncha bird who were exchanging their pleasantries, who were in romantic mood. Avadihi kama mohitam. And here is the essence of Ramayana. And what I have said, that Manishada Pratishtatam Agamaha Shashwati Samaha Ekrauncha Mitunadevam Avadihi kama mohitam. And here he has given us the essence and the saram of Ramayana. There, Priyavachan Pillai has used the same word and he described has given us the essence of Ramayana. There, Manishada Pratishtatam. Here, Ma means Mahalakshmi. Nishada means one who's always associated with Mahalakshmi, that is Srinivasa. Pratishtatam Agamaha Shashwati Samaha. Here, Pratishtatam Agamaha Shashwati Samaha means here he cursed the hunter, but instead it turns out to be he is blessing Sriman Narayana and he is praising Sriman Narayana that he would be living for a long period and he is always the Nitya Vastu. And here he meant that Yet Krauncha Mitunadevam. He further added that Krauncha means Asura, Rakshasa. Here he killed a Rakshasa who was Ravana, Avadihi Kama Mohitam, who has abducted Sita with a piece of lust in his mind. Avadihi Kama Mohitam. Here he killed Ravana, which he has given us the story of Ramayana. Then slowly he started doing his own work. He started engaged in his spiritual work, and at the same time the sloka was slowly reminding him, and he was chanting it like a mantra japa. And whatever the shoka and whatever the sorrow he has expressed in his curse, it turned out to be a sloka. Shokaha slokatvam agataha. It turned out to be a poetic verse, and he continuously chanted that word Manishada Pratishtatam Agabaha Shashwati Samaha Ekrauncha Mitunadevam Avadihi Kamamohitam. Not one time, hundreds and thousands of times he had been chanting that mantra, and in such a way that his disciples also recited the same mantra. And he was strictly engrossed in that verse, and suddenly Ajagama Tato Brahma Lokakarta Swayam Barbuhu. A four-headed God Brahma came in front of him, and he has blessed Valmiki Maharshi, and with due respect he has offered him the seat, such that since he was the visitor of this ashrama, with due respect he has offered him the seat. And Brahma blessed him that Machanda Tenate Devam Pravutteyam Saraswati, that by my grace Saraswati will always sit in your mouth. Ramasya Charitam Kritshnam Vichitram Palamatmavan. That Ramasya Charitam, that Rama's story will overflow from your thy mouth. And then whatever you speak, nateva kadutakavye kachidatra bhavishyati, and whatever you speak will be of no error. Kachidatra bhavishyati, that will be futurely said, and that will be the fourth story for the others life. Kuru Ramakata Punyam Shlokapatta Manorama. And whatever you speak, it won't be abadda. It won't be a child's words. And whatever you speak is Shastram. And Shastram will overflow from your mouth. And by Brahma's grace, by Narada's grace, he got Brahma's blessing. And by Brahma's blessings, he got, and Saraswati sat on his tongue, such that whatever he says will be a Shastra. And Brahma also gave him the power to see what are the incidents that has happened during that Rama has showed. That's why he kept the name as Ramasya Ayanam Ramayanam. That story of Rama, that Rama's path, which Valmiki has later kept it as a title. So by seeing scene to scene, by seeing them, he wrote Ramayana. He wrote Rama's story. And then whatever he write, Samasa Sandhi Yogam, the grammatical rules, the Samasa, the joining words, and all came together at the same time. Melancholy also came. Sangeeta also came with him. Everything came with him, and everything has supported Valmiki to publish a 24,000 Ramayana. And later he kept the name as Kavyam Ramayanam Kritsnam Sitaya Charitam Mahate Paulastyapada Ityeva Chakara Charitam Prataha. And that Grantha, the manuscript, had three names. And he had a multiple choice question that what name shall I keep? Option A, Kavyam Ramayanam Kritsnam. Shall I keep it as Ramayana? Or here it has highlighted Sita's chastity and her unconditional love towards Rama. Sitayaha Charitam Mahate. And another is end of Ravana's tyranny. Paulastya Vadayityeva. Chakara Chaitapradha. What option shall I choose? And he thought that it's better to keep Rama's Ramayana. And he finally decided, and he kept the name as Ramayana, which comprises of 24,000 slokas and 6 kandams, that is 6 chapters, starting from Balakanda, Ayodhya Kanda, Aranya Kanda, Kishkinda Kanda, Sundara Kanda, at last Viddha Kanda. And he comprised, and he's given us the very big volume, very big publication. He has given us a very big book, very big manuscript he has given us. And he started slowly teaching to his own students. And many say that the main prime disciple were Kusha and Lava. And first he started giving a discourse on Ramayana. And he first taught to his 2 musical bards named Kushi Lavau to Tarbagyo Tabasau Samsitam Vratav. And they were equally engrossed in penance. And both of them, they similarly look like Rama, with a very good body. And they had a very good musical knowledge, in such a way that on which sloka I can express my expressions through music. In that kind of knowledge, both of them has possessed. And they both learnt from Valmiki Maharishi. And first stage performance, in Tamil we say Arangetram. The first stage performance they did in an assembly of all the rishis. They have delivered a musical discourse on Ramayana, first Sangeet upanyasam, done by Kushalava, 2 musical birds. And then by Valmiki's blessings, they went to Ram's Darbar to deliver a discourse on Ramayana. And Rama both saved them, and Rama heartily welcomed them. And under Rama's order, they kept the stage for the stage performance for the Sangeet Upanyasam to be held in Naimisharanyam. And Kushalava both they have set their tambura to sing Ramayana. And everyone listened, everyone got mesmerized, and even Rama got mesmerized. Mama Pitat Pupitaram Prasakshate Mahanubhava Tanibodata. And he got Mama Pitat Putikaram Prasakshate. And that has also mesmerized Rama, and that gave him the very good feeling to him. As here actually many would say Uttarama Charitram. But I just said the part of Uttarama Charitram because it contains Ramayana's Palashruti. The benefit of a person who listens Ramayana. That's in pretext of Rama, he said that Mama Pitar Bhutaram Pratakshate. It has also calmed Rama's mind. Mahanubhava Tani Bodhata. And it gives us the very good expression on others' mind. With that, we have seen the Palashruti, we have seen the benefit of Ramayana. And slowly Valmiki starts Ramayana by giving a very good pictorial description of Ayodhya. Kausalo nama dudita, spito janapado maman, vivishtaha sarayu dire, prabhuta dhanadanyamane. There he gives us the description of Kosala Desa. In that, two rivers they flow. One is Ganga, on one side Ganga river is overflowing, and on another side is Sarayu river. Both are overflowing simultaneously, and amidst the two rivers there is one very big kingdom named Kausala. And Ayodhya Namaragari Tatrasi Lokavishutaha. And amidst all the travelers who visit that place, they they refer it as Ayodhya. As Vaikuntham was referred as Ayodhya. Ashtachakranavadwara Deva Nampura Yodhya. As Vaikuntham's name, another name is Ayodhya, where there were no dualities. There were no transactions between each and every representative. All were constitutionally equal, at the same time they were mentally equal. Tatra asid loka vishrutaha. And everyone were in the same strata, like how Dasaratha was, like how the king was. And no one had they had no malice, and they were not cutthroat, and they had no other desire, and everyone were focusing on their own jobs, and everyone were all self-sufficient, and they were always content with whatever they had. And whatever if you see their house was similar to the what the king has possessed. And at that time there was a king named Dasaratha. And how was his dealing with the subjects? Manuna Manavendrena Yapuri Ninvitaha Swayam. And it was established by Manu. And whatever the dealing he deals with the subjects, it was similar to how Manu has ruled the kingdom. That's what I have said in Samsaya Ramayana. The similar thing I'm saying it right now. Yapuri Nivitaha Swayam. The similar way Manu had dealt with these subjects. And he was engaged in dharmic welfare. And he always thought what good has to be done to the people. And whatever the problems the Devas faced, they would contact Dasaratha to support him. And especially for Devasura Yuddham. Devasura fight between the conflict between Devas and Asuras. As said in Vedas, it is a Devasura Sayyakta Asan. And there will be a fight between Devas and Asuras. And they both fight. And if they need a strong person, they would hire Dasaratha Chakravarti. And he would always give them the victory. And would always uplift them from Asura's terrible warfare. And all the Devas, they were always grateful to Dasaratha. And they respected him. As his name Dasaratha mentions that at 10 regions his kingdom would transgress. By looking at Dasaratha, everyone loved him. And everyone were overjoyed by his stature. And he had eight ministers. Dishtihi Jayanto Vijayaha, Siddharthaha, Yattasadakaha, Ashokaha, Mantrapalascha, Sumantraha, Chastamo Bhavate. He had 8 ministers. In that, if you see that sloka, you would get an inherent meaning. Drishtihi, one who had a long vision. Jayantaha, one would always give victory. And whatever, either in physical warfare as well as in dealing with the people, he would always give merit and credit to the kingdom. Siddharthaha, and whatever meaning he gives a meaning that would benefit to the king as well as to the people. Artha Sadakaha, Siddhartho hi Artha Sadakaha. And he would counsel the king how to settle the tax and the monetary relationship between the people as well as with the king. Then Ashokaha, counselor. Mantrapalascha. Mantrapala, here it means that one who administers all the ministers. And here is that one who takes wise decisions. One is expert in taking wise decisions. Then Sumantraha, then the noble minister. Chastamaha Bhavate, which the Raja had all the 8 ministers in hand. Here it shows that how a mind has to be. By showing the 8 ministers, he shows that these 8 ministers are all the limbs of the body. All the indriyas, all the senses of the body. and they are guided by a mind called Dasharatha. If a mind is very steadfast, if the mind is 100% stable, all the eight will fall in place. If the mind is unstable, all the eight will go in different directions. So the eight ministers, they were they were backing Dasharatha, and they were in the position to counsel Dasharatha that whatever problems if Dasharatha addresses to them, they would give them the right solution. And all were going good to him, all were going well to him. And even he had 8 purohits. Sumant वशिष्ठो वामदेवश्च जाबालिरथकाश्यपौ पुरोहितं वशिष्ठं च एचान्ये दशरथतमाः. He had all the 8 purohits. He had Vamadeva, he had Jabali, he had Markandeya, he had Kashyapa, and amidst all the 8 purohits, I mentioned 4. Vashishtaha, he is the chief purohit of this Kausala, Ayodhya Rajya, of the Surya Vamsa clan. And under Vasishta's decision, he would always come into the conclusion of doing what is good to the people, as well as aiding with all the 8 ministers' orders. And his Raja was, his reign was going good, but he had only one problem, that since I am engaged in this dharmic ways, I need a son, I need a hire to follow whatever dharmas I have followed previously. After me, he must be in a position to execute it. So he has kept in mind, Mama lalapyamanasya putratam nasti vesukam, that I need a child who would call my name, who would cuddle me, and who would enjoy my physical presence. Tadattam hayamedena ichyamiti madanmama. And he told his problem to Vasishta, his main desire to Vasishta, that he needs a child, he needs to beget a child. Even though he had 350 wives and 3 head wives, Kausalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi, even though he had all the things, he told Vasishta that I need a child, I need to beget a child. And Vasishta said, Tadattam hayamedena ichaviti madurmama. And I wanted to start an Ashwamedha Yajna, horse sacrifice Yajna. And Vasishta blessed him, Sarvata Prachade Putra, Abhipretan Sapatiga, except te Dharmiki Buddhi, Yam Putratam Agata. By your Dharmika's mindset, you will surely, definitely beget a child. By Vasishta's blessings, under Vasishta's instruction, they have decided to keep the Yagyabhumi, the Homakunda, across Saraiva Sotare Tire, Yagyabhumi Vidiyatam, across the northern banks of Sarayu, they have decided to keep the Yagyabhumi. And all the 8 ministers, they were very happy. And they were very delighted that Dasharatha had the desire to beget a child. And everyone, hand in hand, they all collaborated with him. And Dasharatha consulted Sumantra, that under Vasishta's instructions, all were kept. And everywhere you see, there were gardens decorated. Everywhere you see, all the garlands were decorated. Everyone, they all put kolam on their grounds. And everyone were delighted that Dasharatha is gonna beget their child, who would be in a responsible position to save them, who would be in a responsible position to rule after Dasharatha. Everyone were delighted. Everyone from different varnas and different clans helped Dasharatha. And Dasharatha had one more problem, that Yajna has been orchestrated, but I need a very good purohit. I need a very good purohit who would conduct the Yajna, who would be in a position to give us a child. And whatever Yajna, whatever mantras he chants, he recites, the Devata must come. He must give us abundant blessings, which he desired. Then he reported the same to Sumantra. And Sumantra said, Sanakumaro Bhagavan, Purvan Katitavan Pura. That's, oh king, don't worry. And Sumantra replied, don't worry, O king, O Maharaj, don't worry. Sanat Kumaro Bhagavan. Sanat Kumara, the Sanakadikas, the 4 Sanakumaras, they have taught me, they have told me a story, which I have heard it long before. I will be telling you the story, which he started the story of Vibhandaka Maharishi. He was engrossed in penance, and he was in the Brahmacharya sthiti. Generally, basically, the word Brahmacharya means not bachelor. As we know, a famous person around at the age of 60 years, he's unmarried, he's single still now. You can't call him brahmacharya. The similar for a person who is brahmacharya means brahmacharya ahimsa cha sharinam tapa uchyate. As Bhagavan said in Gita that he must adhere to ahimsa and he must be adhere to ahimsa, that he must not physically and mentally hurt all the people, and he must be steadfast in his own practice, and that is called brahmacharya, which Vibhantaka Maharishi followed in his childhood. But he was traveling from one place to another, and the story is not from Ramayana, it is from different Puranas, the story of Vibhantaka Maharishi. And Vibhantaka Maharishi was traveling from one place to another. From him the water came, and the deer had drunk it. The moment the deer has drunk it, it had bore a womb of a male child with the deer horns, and later he kept its name as Rishashringa, and he adopted him as his own child, and he wanted the same Brahmacharya Sthiti. He wanted his child to attain the same Brahmacharya Sthiti which he has attained, and he didn't allow any physically contact and physically dealing with other people, and whatever problems and whatever suggestions which the hundreds and thousands of people asked, he himself personally would go and solve the problem. He won't allow his child to come along with him, and he had made his child to sit in a secluded place full to make his mind contemplator on the Brahman, and he told him to meditate for 24/7, and he told him to observe brahmacharya. And on the other side, the king of the Romapada, the king of Angadesa, was very worried that in his place they didn't get any rain, and there were water scarcity in his place, and people were very worried, and people all went to reported attest the matters to King Romapada, and they told that please do some yajna, please do some Varuna Japa. By doing Varuna Japa, we will get the water scarcity will be reduced, which everyone did, and no solutions they got. And suddenly he has addressed the same to his Purohit. He told him that there is one Mahapurusha who has been born in the forest. If you call that Mahapurusha, that too he is around 5 to 6 years old. If you call that Mahapurusha, not 5, not 15 to 16 years old, if you call that Mahapurusha, by his arrival, the very most arrival, the rain should come and the water scarcity will be reduced, which the counselor has told. And Maharshi has thought, that, but the son seems to be the son of Vibhantaka Maharshi. If I call him physically, I would be cursed. So, is there any other plan to call that child? Which he has addressed the same, and the counselor has told, instead of us going and getting cursed by Vibhantaka Maharshi, let us send those dancers, the called dancers. It's better they would go, they would entertain the child. He is unaware of woman, is unaware of the worldly matters. As he was engrossed in tapas, as he was engrossed in penance, he doesn't know what the world is. So it's better you send these call girls, these call dancers, to learn Rishashringa. Then they all went in a single boat. A group of 5 people went in a single boat, and they all hid in a tree to see whether Vibhantaka Maharshi is there or not. The moment he disappeared, they all appeared in his hermitage, and they called Rishasingha Maharshi. They called him to give him the upachara, to give them the offering, and by giving them the offering, they all expressed their happiness in the form of dance, by dancing, and that has made Rishasingha mesmerized. And he also liked their gait. He also liked the way they shower their expressions, and they also liked how they exchange their pleasantries. By looking at them, Rishasingha thought that they were apsaras, they were celestial damsels coming from Devaloka. So he offered flowers to them, and they also accepted the offerings, and they went to their own place to escape from Vibhantaka's curse. And it has happened not for one day, for a week it has happened. And on the 8th day, this young lad Rishasingha was very desperate that when will these young damsels would come, these apsaras, these devatas, when would they come? And the moment he thought, at that time the celestial those call dancers came in front of him. They did the same treatment which Rishasingha did on the first day. They did on the eighth day, and he got mesmerized, and he requested them that he would be accompanying them, because 1 week he has seen this dance. He want to see him for 12 years. So he went along with them. That's why in Ekadas Kanda is told, Gramya Geetam na Suniyat, Yatihi Vanatar Kuchite, Chichet Harinabadda, Brigayo Gita Mohita, which the Avaduta told Yadu Maharaja that don't get mesmerized by this music. The music which sounds lyrically good, but if it doesn't connect with God, it will bind you in the samsara. The same thing Rishasingha got bound to the samsara. The same as he got bound to the samsara, he went to Angadesa. The moment he stepped Angadesa, slowly rains overflowed, rains outpoured, and whatever the water scarcity problems the people addressed, and the king was desperate for a solution of water scarcity, everything got solved within a minute, and they were delighted, and everyone gave him due respect by giving him a golden palanquin, and they all carried him and submitted him to Romapada. And Romapada was delighted, was very happy, and he gave his own daughter Chanta to marry Rishasingha. Even though he was mesmerized by the dancers, called dancers dance, but he was still in this brahmacharya sthiti, and nothing could mesmerize him. And he got mesmerized. Why he got mesmerized to those damsels to dance? Because of Bhagavad Sankalpa. Because Bhagavan wants him to accomplish the task which he has taught for Romapada. Through him, he used Rishasingha as a medium to accomplish it. So at that moment, he got mesmerized by the damsels' dance. But daily they would do the dance. He wasn't mesmerized. He was in the sthiti. And suddenly Vibantaka entered Angadesa, and he saw the roads were written under in his name, Rishasingha main road, and Rishasingha tank, and everything were written under his name. And he saw that, is it our child Rishasingha? And he went there for clarification. He went to Romapada for clarification, and he told that because of that Mahatma, we are in an old stage. We have at least our water scarcity got reduced previously, and he narrated the entire story to them. Even though Vivantaka was very angry that he couldn't make his child to attain the brahmacharya sthiti like what he have attained previously. He couldn't do that, but he was partially angry. At the same time, he was little happy that his son has did a noble deed. So he hugged Rishasingha tightly, and he told him that don't leave your brahmacharya sthiti and don't leave your penance. Because of your penance, people respected you. People have submitted to Raja by carrying you in the golden palanquin, and all those upacharas and all those arrangements and all those respects they gave because of your tapas, because of your penance. And so don't leave the tapas even though you're in that state, which Vibhantaka Maharshi addressed them and blessed the two couples. By narrating this story, Dasharatha was very overjoyed that he wanted Rishyasingha to be the chief Purohit of the Yajna. And suddenly Dasharatha devised a plan that he would be staying there, he would be meeting King Romapada Maharshi, who was a close friend of Dasharatha, who was his own close friend. By meeting Romapada Maharshi on the pretext of calling Rishyasingha for the Yajna. So for the 15, then he planned his journey to Angadesa. Along with Sumantra, along with Vasishta, he went there. And they both had a friendly banter with them. They both had a friendly conversation with them, and he stayed there for 2 weeks. And suddenly he asked a gift from Romapada Maharaj that I want Rishasingha for conducting a Ashwamedha Yaga on the pretext of conducting Putra Kameshti Yaga to bore a son. So he asked Romapada Maharaj that I want Rishasingha Maharshi. Then Rishasingha agreed positively, and he was also brought with due respect. he was given a single chariot along with his own wife Shanta, and they all came to Ayodhya, and lot of arrangements and lot of divine music and lot of melam were being played over there, and everyone were happy, and everyone were looking at everyone, they all participated in a competitive way that I will do this and I will do that. Everyone were very happy and everyone were excited to take part in Dasarada's Ashwamedha Yaga, horse sacrifice, and Putra Kameshti Yaga. Everyone were happy. And Annakootastabhavaha Disade Pravadobamaha. Then they Annakootastabhavaha, and lot of Annadana happened, and everyone were distributed with long meals. Everyone were distributed with chappan boats, and it is like what no Annakutascha Bhavaha. Disate Parvadopamaha, and they have given him the mountains and mountains of food. And if a one person eat one lump of food, other person asks, I want more, I want more, I want more. Everyone were happy in partaking more and more food, and everyone were happy, and everyone expressed their joy in having more and more food, and everyone were delighted, everyone were excited of Dasarada's celebration. And at that time, after conducting the Ashwamedha Yaga, Rishyasingha Maharshi conducted the Putra Kameshti Yaga. From that time, a Divya Purusha came. A Divya Purusha came, and he saw Divya Purusha came with one hand he had the vessel, another hand he had the spoon to serve the divine porridge, payasa, and he gave it to Rishyasingha. And many would say, in this story, many would comment that why can't Dasarada get the porridge by his own hands instead of why he instructed Rishyasingha to collect the porridge. This is because many would say that since Bhagavan is gonna incarnate to be, he'll be born as a child, he has decided to be born as Dasarada's child. So Bhagavan would be taking as an incarnation of Lord Rama. So to get Bhagavan's prasad, one must get Bhagavan's Bhakta or Bhagavata's prasad. That is Rishyasingha's prasad. Through Rishyasingha's prasad, if a person gets the prasad from Bhagavata, whatever wish he has prayed, it will be fulfilled. That's why Rishyasingha was used as a medium to give the porridge to Dasaratha. And at the same time, there was a scene in Devaloka. Simultaneously, there is a scene in Devaloka. There, Devatas couldn't tolerate Ravana's tyranny, as Ravana did hundreds and thousands years of tapas to ask the boon of Brahma, that he wanted to conquer the whole world, the whole universe. He wanted to conquer Ravana, and he asked the boon from Brahmaloka, from Brahma, and he asked that I must not be killed by anyone, either by the god, either by celestial gods, either by woman, either by all those words, etc., etc., etc. He asked hundreds and thousands of words, thousands of lists he has made. He has made a very big list. If I say it will take a lot of time. So he has given a very, very big list that I must not be killed by anyone, excluding the two people. One is by human or by the monkey clan or by monkeys. As he thought that both were waste, and both were time pass to ask a separate boon of not to be killed by these people. So he neglected them. Then Ramana, by using that tapas as an advantage, he tortured the devas, and whatever will he has made, as a sun would rise every day on 6 o'clock. According to Ravana's order, the sun would rise at 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. and the sun would set at 6 p.m. Instead, for him, Ravana, the sun would set at 9 p.m. He has kept the world, everything under his control since he had the tapas. And he also enslaved Parameshwara by his bhakti. By his bhakti, he got the Atmalinga, and he has got Parameshwara's divine sword called Chandrahas. Everything, all the gifts he has got by chanting mere Samaveda, he got everything. He enslaved Brahma, he enslaved Parameshwara also. And both of them were clueless. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to put an end to Ravana's atrocities. And since they gave them the boon, they were helpless. They were helpless. They couldn't do anything. And all the devatas, they all vowed to Brahma that what boons did Ravana get from you both? Can you please tell me which they all begged? They all prayed to Brahma, and Brahma told that Ravana asked etc. and hundreds and thousands of boons, and he missed the two boons. One is he must not be killed by a human or by a monkey. And the Devatas thought for a while. They were blank. They couldn't tolerate the atrocities of Ravana. And suddenly, Shankara Chakra Gadapani Pitavasa Jagatpatihi Bayam Tachita Bhaktram Te Hitatam Yudi Ravanam Sa Putra Pautra Samatyam Sa Sahut Nyati Bandhavam, which Bhagavan addressed, which Sriman Narayana came from the abode of Vaikunta, seated with the two consorts Sridevi and Bhudevi, seated on Garuda, and he has appeared to them suddenly, and he blessed them that Vayam Trachita Patram Te. Don't fret. Hitatam Yudi Ravanam. And I will do the needful of slaying Ravana. Not only Ravana, Saputra Pautra Samatyam. Those who support him, be it his own brother, be it his own father, be it his own grandson, whoever were supporting, whoever were in his list, they would be in my hit list. Saputra Pautra Samatya Sahut Nyati Pandaham. Atva Kuram Mahavara Devashina Mayabham. Then he has cajoled the Devas that I am there to take care of these matters, which Rama had told, which Bhagavan had told. And all the Devas, including Brahma, they all decided that since he has neglected human as well as monkeys in his list, we would take that as an advantage to conquer Ravana, to subdue Ravana. As Brahma, first he has sent his Amsa as Jambavan, and Jambavan was already incarnated as he did a parikrama on Bhagavan who came as Trivikrama. So Jambavan is there. And Indra decided Surya Putram cha Sukrivam, Chakra Putram cha Validam, as Surya Bhagavan incarnated as Sugriva, and Chakra Putram cha Validam, and Indra incarnated as Vali. Both were brothers, and Maruta Syatpada Sriman, Hanuman Marutatmajaha, Vajra Samhanopeta, Vainataya Samojave, which is equal to Garuda, as Vayu Bhagavan incarnated as Anjaneya Swami. And he had Rudra's incarnation within him. As Avatharam said, Bhimarupi Maharudra. He is the Rudra Amsha of. He also had incarnation of Lord Shiva. With Lord Shiva's incarnation as well as Vayu Bhagavan's incarnation, Anjaneya descended in Kishkinda. And everyone, all the Devatas, they all incarnated as monkey troops. And at last Bhagavan decided that Pitaram Rochayamasa Tata Dasaratham Ripam. I would be born as Dasaratha's child. As Dasaratha was he's a Paramadharmika. To him, I am privileged to be as his son. Which Rama has expressed his desire to Brahma. And he had decided that his divine Ayuda, his divine weapons, must be born along with him as his own brothers, like Shesha as his own servant, trusted servant, Adishesha to be born as Lakshmana, his younger brother, and his Shanka Chakra to be born as Bharata and Shatrughna, and his mace to be born as Vibhishana in Lanka, which he sent his all the Divya Ayudas, divine weapons, to the world. And Bhagavan has decided to be born as Rama, son of Dasaratha, which he expressed desire to Brahma. Pitaram Rochaya Masa Tata Dasaratham Dripam. The moment he desired, the four Vedas came along with him, and they all saw Bhagavan that he will be descending to this Bhuloka, and they all expressed their prayers to Swami that I don't want to leave you, Swami, because Yasya Niswasitam Veda. Shruti Smriti Mame Vakya, as Bhagavan said in Gita that Shruti Smriti Mame Vakya. And the Shruti and Smriti, the both limbs of Vedas, they all are my order. That's why Veda is called Nigamam. Nigamam means order. So the four Vedas, they disguised as the Divya Purushas, they bowed to Bhagavan that I also express my desire to be born in this world. So what should I do? As said in Dhyana Sloka, Veda Vedye Pare Pumsi, Jate Dasaratpaje, Veda Pracheta Saramsi, Sakshat Ramayanatmana. Vedaha Pracheta Saramsi. That Veda Vedye Pare Pumsi. One who is the leader of the Vedas and one who is the God of the Vedas, he was born as Jate Dasaratatmaje, Dasarata's son as Dasarathi. Veda Pracheta Saramsi. Which Vedas who ordain us, who order us to follow the Dharma, they are born as Sakshat Ramayanatma. They are born as the Vedas which uphold Bhagavan Rama's glorious Ramayana. Which Vedas, he also blessed the Vedas. And suddenly Bhagavan descended down at that time after the completion of the distribution of the porridge to the to Dasaratha. He distributed 1/4 of the payasa to Kausalya and 1/4 to Subitra, 1/4 of Kaikeyi, and 1/8 of the payasa to Subitra. And both of them have distributed their halves to Subitra. And at the result, by Bhagavan's grace, Tato Yakke Samaptetu, Ritunant Sabatyuhu, Tatascha Dwadase Mase Chaitrena Navamite Ratau. At the time, on the 12 months, on the 12th lunar month, there is a month called Chaitra. That is Chitra Masam. That is on Panguni Masam, some would say. Like Chitra Masam, that's Punarpusa Nakshatram, and on the Navami Tithi, on the 9th day, Bhagavan decided to descend in this world. Prodhyamane Jagannatham Sarvaloka Namaskritam Kausalya Ajanayatravam Sarvalakshana Samrutam Vishnoho Ardham Mahabhagam Putram Aishwaka Vardhanam. As here Valmiki beautifully described Bhagavan's Rama Biran's avatar. Kausalya Ajanayatravam Sarvalakshana Samrutam. With all the qualities Bhagavan had, he was born with all the qualities. Hence he is called Purna Avatara. Sarva Lakshana Samritam Vishnu Ratnam Mahabhahu. Even though he said Vishnu is half part of Vishnu, he exhibits all the qualities Bhagavan had as a Paramapadanatha. That Vishnu Ratnam Mahabhagam Putram Aishwaka Ratnam. As Kausalya we got the child Rama. And he was named by Vasishta Maharishi. He was christened by Vasishta Maharishi as Rama. Then Kaikeyi had begot a child, and he was later christened by Vasishta Maharishi as Bharata. Then Sumitra has got begot two children, both identical twins as Lakshmana and Shatrughna. And both were slept in the same cradle. Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrughna, all four together. And at that time, Lakshmana was a child. He was crying. That he was wailing that he was crying uncontrollably, and no one could pacify him. They bought very good toys to pacify him. He was inconsolable. They couldn't do anything to control his tears. So they have thought, and they consulted Vasishta Maharshi that I couldn't control Lakshmana. Then what shall I do? Then Vasishta saw closely, and he thought that Lakshmana has to be seated next to Rama. Because here Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, Avatara shows that they are Bhagavan's Divya Amsha. So Rama Piran is Bhagavan himself. And to serve him, his 1,000-headed serpent incarnated as Lakshmana. To serve him, to do Bhagavat Seva, Lakshmana came. And his Divya Ayuda, Shanka has incarnated as Bharata. To follow Bhagavan's principle. Hence he is a Bhagavata. That to serve Bhagavan, to serve Rama Piran with trust and with perseverance and with steadfastness to adhere his orders. That is the Paramadharma which the person has to follow. To showcase the people, Bhagavan came as Bharata. He is the Parama Bhagavata. Since I am not in a position to serve Bhagavan, I have less bhakti, I have less devotion to serve Bhagavan. Hence, I would get the same credit I would get by serving the Bhagavata. Hence, Bhagavan himself incarnated as Shatrughna, as the divine Sudarsana Sakra, which the four Ayudas as well as the Bhagavan came. And to show the Sharanagati Dharma, surrender, the divine mace incarnated as Vibhishana. To show the Shastra, to show the Dharma, different Dharmas, Bhagavan has taken 4 different forms. As of all the 4 people were under the tutelage of Vasishta, they learnt all the Shastra. Sarve Srima Vidasuraha, Sarve Lokahite Rataha, Sarve Jnanopasampannaha, Sarve Samudita Gunaihi. They were all excelled. They excelled in warfare. They excelled in horse ride, elephant ride, and what the Dharma the king has to follow. They all were excellent. They are all at par excellence. And whatever he did, and Desamati Mahateja, Ramaha Satya Parakramaha. And he was for the Rasaradas, For him, who is the first class student? If you ask him, for him everything was Rama, and he had 100% unconditional love towards Rama. And whatever the problems happen, he would always think about Rama, 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 Rama 24/7 hours. He would always see Rama. When Rama entered the palace, Dasharatha was mesmerized, and from a long distance he would see the Rama's gate, and how Rama approaches the ministers, how Rama does namaskara, how he bows towards the purohits, and how he does namaskaras to him. He sees everything, he sees each and every action. At the same time, he would drink the juice of Rama's action. And everything he was seeing, he was very attentive in terms of Rama's action. And he had one problem, Tesham Darakriyam Prati. He wanted Rama to get married, which he had the problem. And at that time, Vishwamitra Mahateja, at the time Vishwamitra came. And Vishwamitra came for a very big ideal, for a very big goal he wanted to achieve. That is, he wanted Rama to get married with Sita. For that reason, Vishwamitra came in Dasharatha's palace. With that, I will be concluding this satsanga, and from the remaining part, that is on August 8, we'll be seeing how Rama, along with Vishwamitra, saved the sacrifice conducted by the Purohits, and how he received all the mantras from Vishwamitra, and how he relieved the curse of Ahalya, and at last Sita Swayamvar. With that, I will be seeing on August 10th. Janaki Kantasparanam, Jai Jai Rama Rama, Sakuru Swaminaha, Jai Anjaneya Swaminaha, Jai. Stop.
தி பாஸ்ட் என்ன ஒரு கண்டென்ட் என்ன அப்பா டு டெல் த சோ மச் இன் 1.5 hours ஒரு பெரிய காரியம். இது டு அசிமுலேட் என்ன பண்ணணும்னாக்கா ஐ ஹவ் டு லிசன் டு திஸ் ஒன்ஸ் மோர். ஏன்னா அந்த ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும் இல்லையா, ரிஷி